Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're all doing really well. So if you want to find out how to make easy peasy, cheesy sprouts with bacon as a snack, using leftovers or as a table centerpiece, then you're going to want to stay tuned. So some of you at home may be thinking, oh my goodness, I hate sprouts. Never in my life would I have them on my table, but you know what? There are lots and lots of people out there, and I'm hoping many of you at home who will like them just as much as I do. It is a sin-free recipe if you use your Healthy Extra A choice using your cheese, and if you don't, then I will let you know at the time when we go to prepare it how many sins you should be taking into consideration. Now, we are going to be using two different types of cheese today. So we'll use red Leicester, and it is finely grated, and we also have Grana Padano as well. We did choose Grana Padano just for a slightly more sharp taste with regards to the dish that we're making, which is the sort of smashed Brussels sprouts. You may have seen these online, but it is a firm favourite of ours to do these with potatoes, carrots, and we thought, well, Brussels sprouts are very seasonal, and hopefully this will give you all of the hints and the tips that you need to pull off a really good snack. You can have it as a main meal. As I said, you could have it as a sort of table centerpiece, and of course using up any leftovers that you may want to serve as a side to your Christmas dinner, your Boxing Day dinner, or any other dinner that you want to make. So let's go take a look at the ingredients a little bit closer, and I will run through all of the steps with you guys at home. Okay guys, so this is our current setup at the moment. We've got our Scoville flat sort of pan. This is really good. It's very, very non-stick. To be honest, I have put a little bit of fry light on it already just to make sure that nothing does stick, but I've never had an issue with this one. It's actually probably one of the best bacon trays I've ever had, and we love the range in Asda, to be honest. It's really, really good value. So we've also got some salt and pepper. We have got our cheese, so it's 30 grams, and obviously, as I said, this is finely grated, and it is red Leicester. The other one is Grana Padano, but of course you can use one cheese or you can use two different types from what we've used today. It's completely up to yourself. We also have our cooked Brussels sprouts here as well, so I cooked them in boiling water for about 10 to 12 minutes. Some of them are slightly larger in size than others, so just double check that they're all sort of relatively soft before you switch the gas off, if you're cooking them on the hob, of course. You can also steam them as well, so it's completely up to yourself. Now, these are completely sin-free, the Brussels sprouts. They are also a speed food as well, which is great to know, because the more you eat, the better your weight loss is, according to Summer World, which is great to know. And we also have the lean bacon lardons. So these are from Asda. They are sin-free. There is another version that is not sin-free, so please do make sure that you're buying the right one if you are purchasing these to use for this recipe or any other recipe, because I have been caught out once before and the sin value is pretty different, shall we say, compared to the sin-free ones. So yeah, I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world if you buy them. You just need to count them in your recipe, obviously, as well. So what we'll do first is we will sprinkle some cheese on our board. So I'm going to probably use about half and just try to make it as even as possible. Yeah. Don't want to use too much because I want to keep some for at the end, but I also want to make sure that we've got a decent sort of coating. But because it's such a fine cheese, it's quite clumpy, you know, when you're sprinkling it out. There we go. And we've got a little bit at the end if we want to sprinkle some over the top, so I'll pop that up here. We also have our red Leicester. So because this is a sort of more moist cheese, I am just going to sort of lightly sprinkle this, hopefully, and avoid big clumps where we can. Again, as I said, you can use any other cheese that you want, but just make sure that it is a Healthy Extra if you're wanting to make this sin-free. If you are not wanting to use your cheese as a Healthy Extra, then you do need to sin it accordingly. So for 30 grams of red Leicester, it would be 6 sins if you're not using your Healthy Extra on that. And for the Grana Padano cheese, it is 5.5 cents for 30 grams. So again, just making sure that you know you're not under or overestimating how much cheese you can actually have. But I mean, these could be personalised. You can add in things as much as you want to make them really like loaded Brussels sprouts. I think the whole sort of loaded chips, loaded fries, whatever you want to call them these days, is pretty big as a trend. So yeah, obviously you can do and use whatever you want. But what we will do just now is bring our sprouts a little bit closer and just show you what they look like. So as I said, I cooked these in boiling water with a little bit of salt for about 10 to 12 minutes. Just making sure obviously that they're all cooked, they're all soft enough. And I then plunged them into like really, really cold water. You can put them in ice water, but we don't have any ice. And to be honest, the weather in Scotland is cold enough right now. I couldn't imagine buying ice at the moment. So yeah, done that, and then just made sure that they're all dry. So get a really, really nice clean tea towel or something else that you can use to dry these, and give them a little bit of a squeeze, and you'll get any extra moisture out of them as well. So that's a really good tip to make these nice and crispy. So what we'll do now is we'll just pop a few of these on our board, our baking tray, and I think 1, 2, 3, 4. If I've got room, I might add extra on, but I don't want to overcrowd. I don't want to overcrowd the tray. I want to make sure that they've all got lots of space, you know, to spread out a wee bit. So just move these down a slight bit, and I think we'll do another sort of layer or row. There you go. So that should give us enough. We've got some spare. They won't go to waste, so we'll use them up. I might just do another tray later on. And before we smash these up, what I will do is just add on a little bit of paper. I suppose you can add the pepper on once they are smashed. I don't think it makes too much difference, but we can always add a little bit more seasoning at the end if we feel we want it or we need it. And we'll do a little bit of salt as well. Now you don't want to do too much salt, just because we do have our Grana Padano, which is quite salty, it's quite sharp, but obviously you do want a bit of flavour in there as well. And so the next step is to smash our sprouts. So what I have got here is just a normal glass. So just pop this down and we'll give it a good squash. Squash until you can't squash anymore is a good tip. Now some might look a little bit nicer than others, but at the end of the day, they're not here to be super, super pretty. If you do get any residue on the bottom, just get rid of that, and it just makes it a bit nicer, a bit neater. And big squash. That one was probably the toughest one yet. Because this is a glass as well, please do be careful at home. Don't exert too much pressure on the glass. We're not wanting any accidents, and I don't want the blame. If it doesn't feel it can squash much more, leave it. Squash it as much as you can squash it, and really that's pretty much it. I don't want anyone hurting themselves. And that's us. So we've got our smashed sprouts, and what I will say is that we also have our bacon sort of pieces, lardons. Now, as I said earlier, these are sin-free and we have cooked them already, but what I'm not going to do is put these on top just yet because I don't want the bacon pieces to burn. So I probably will put them in maybe a couple of minutes before the very, very end of the cooking, and these should take in total probably about 10 minutes. Now, what I will do is just add on a slight little bit more cheese where possible. I've not got much of the cheddar, the red Leicester left, just because it is much more sort of claggy when you are sprinkling it. But we do have a bit of our Grana Padano cheese left over. So we can use that as a little bit of a garnish at the very end, and of course it's not going to cost us any more sins, and job done, really. There we go. So again, I think the beauty of this dish is that it's quick, it doesn't cost much, and generally if you know you're like us at this time of the year and you have either Brussels sprouts or you have potatoes or carrots, anything like that to hand, then you can make this at home as a really quick snack. Obviously as well, you know, a side, and if you're wanting to make quite a large dish for a centerpiece in the table that people can just help themselves to, then this is a really nice one for you guys to take a further look at. So what I'm going to do now is just pop this into the oven, and I shall see you shortly. So guys, whilst our sprouts are in the oven and they are cooking away nicely, I would just like to take this opportunity to ask if you are enjoying our content, then I would love if you could become one of my subscribers. It really does mean the world to me. It's not going to cost you anything to subscribe, and you might just see something on a day-to-day basis that takes your interest. So thank you very much. Okay guys, that's our smashed Brussels sprouts out of the oven. Oh my goodness, they smell amazing. Now take a quick look at those bad boys. Don't they look amazing? They look so good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly go and plate up, and I shall show you what it looks like at the end. Okay guys, so we have the finished product here. I must admit I'm maybe a little bit biased, but I think they look amazing and they smell absolutely delicious. So let's take a little bit of a closer look at what we've got on our plate. So lots of really lovely crispy cheese. We have some bacon lardons, and of course our squashed sprouts with lots and lots of cheese underneath and on top. Cheese is right up my street. I love everything with cheese on it, so I'm really looking forward to trying these. What I will say as well is that we even have a little cheese crisp like this that you can enjoy as part of your healthy extra. I mean, what else could you ever want? So I'm going to have a little bit of this first. Delicious, so good. And we'll just take one of our sprouts here, and I'll just show you what it looks like. And here we go. Really, really good. Delicious. Well guys, there you have it. So we have sin-free, squashed, easy peasy Brussels sprouts with cheese and bacon. It is completely up to you whether you follow this to the T, as I have done here, but you can make it personalised to suit your own needs and tastes. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful, and I shall catch you in the next video. Thanks, bye.